After a long off season, game week is finally here, New York Giants fans. And on today's video, I'm going to tell you all 22 starters that'll be out there this Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. But first, if you want to start this season 1-0, if you don't want to lose 40-0 week one, and you want to start the season on the right foot, I need you to go down right now and hit that thumbs up icon. Don't jinx it. Don't be the reason why. 1-0, like this video. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. We'll start with the offense. We'll close with the defense. Then we'll take a look at the special teams units as we're going to go position by position and give you the starters for the New York Giants. QB1, Daniel Jones. Maybe there was some thought that Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito would push him this offseason. Maybe at one point I thought Lock would be competition. But Daniel Jones, number 8, is back in the starting spot for this franchise for the 5th time heading into his 6th season. Look, it is now or never for Daniel Jones. Whatever side of the table, whatever side of the fence you sit on, you got to admit that if he plays well, he's going to be back. If he struggles, he's not going to be back. And if the Giants get off to a bad start this year, we could see Daniel Jones bench due to that injury guarantee in his contract. He's on the books next year for $40+ million unless he is cut. Then he has a dead cap hit of about $21 million. Giants would save $19 million. No matter where you stand on Daniel Jones, if you think he's good, if you think he sucks, no matter what it is, if you're a Giants fan, you'll be rooting for him to win games on Sundays this year. And I'm a Giants fan, and I'm going to be doing that. At running back, number 26, he's gone. But number 26 is once again a running back for the New York Giants. Also, happy birthday to Devin Motor Singletary. Show our man Motor some love. Drop those 26s and HBDs in the chat. But when it comes to Motor, I'm excited to see him run the football this year for the New York Giants. A guy that's going to take what he gets inside the tackles, puts his foot in the ground, gets north and south, eats up green grass, runs through arm tackles. He is going to be someone that I think is going to impress a lot of Giants fans this year. Runs hard, and that is something that all Giants fans can appreciate. At tight end, I think Daniel Bellinger is going to be the starter for this team, at least in the early part of this season. I think Bellinger will get the first crack at it due to his familiarity with the offense, entering now year 3 in the National Football League. But I do think at some point through the season, whether it's week 3, 5, 7, 9, 15, 17, 18, at some point, I do think the rookie Theo Johnson is going to take over as the starting tight end. I envision him having a big season, and I think in 6 months from now, we could be talking about the Giants got one of the bigger draft steals back in the 2024 NFL draft, and he is going to be the tight end of the future. I'm a big fan of Theo, and I think it's also important to note that he changed his number from 47 to 84. 84, that's a hell of a Giants number. He's going to be big this year for Big Blue. Wide receiver 1, it's going to be Malik Nabers. Select him 6th overall. He's going to lead this team in catches, yards, average, TDs, all that. If he's able to stay healthy and play all 17 games, I'm expecting big things from number 1. Number 1 in the hearts, number 1 in the programs, Malik Nabers. Wide receiver 2, Darius Slayton. He's led this team in receiving yards for what seems like the last 5 seasons, outside of 1 year in Kenny Golladay. And a lot of people, I think Slayton is a polarizing player on this roster. But this year, I think he's going to have a big year. Pressure's taken off him because the Nabers, teams now will focus on Nabers. And Slayton, he's got top-end speed. He can take the top off, and that chemistry with Daniel Jones, I think, is going to pay off this year once again. I expect 86 to have a big year for Big Blue. Wide receiver 3, I put Wan'Dale Robinson there. I know a lot of people want to see Jalen Hyatt take that step in year 2. But Robinson, if there is 3 receiver sets, which there will be plenty of times with the New York Giants, you're going to see Nabers outside, Slayton outside, and then Wan'Dale Robinson operating in the slot. He's a guy that maybe could be second in this team in catches just because of how often Daniel Jones wants to get the ball out quick to the guy in the slot. Hyatt, year 2, can he take a jump? I wouldn't say he had a bad rookie year, but the opportunities to be successful were absolutely limited due to injuries to Daniel Jones, really the offense being extremely stagnant, not explosive, and not really giving this guy an opportunity to consistently take the top off the defense. He needs to be better. Play calling needs to be better, and I think if he has his number called more often this year, we will see more success and more chunk plays for number 13. On the offensive line, it should be much improved. Left tackle Andrew Thomas, he's back there yet again, in my opinion, a top 5 offensive lineman in this league, maybe the best left tackle. Hopefully he doesn't tear his hamstring on the first drive of the game when the Giants have a field goal blocked. Free agent acquisition, John Runyon comes over from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Giants. He's a solid player. You're paying him $10 million. He needs to produce. He needs to be one of the better guards in football. I'm hoping he could be that with this new offensive line coach, Carmen Bracillo. With Bracillo now taking over for Bobby Johnson, he needs to find a way to get second-year center John Michael Schmitz on track. I want to call John Michael Schmitz one of the bigger swing players, one of the biggest X factors for the New York Giants. Last year, he was graded out as one of the worst centers in the NFL. I get it. He's a rookie and all that. But now it's year 2. You're 25 years old. Bobby Johnson is gone. If JMS can play like one of the best centers in the NFL, he can take this offensive line from maybe being below average to maybe even above average. And if you're above average as a Giants offensive line, I'll be crying tears of joy every single week. Greg Van Roten, who the Giants signed a couple of weeks before preseason starting, he's going to be starting at your right guard spot. And his buddy, his right tackle from the Las Vegas Raiders, he will be there at the right tackle spot. Shout out to Jermaine Illuminor, one of the most underrated players in the National Football League. Look, the Raiders were one of the best offensive lines in the NFL last year. You steal their right guard, you steal their right tackle, you get the left guard from the Packers. Hopefully you got your all-pro back, and John Michael Schmitz in year 2 takes a major leap, because if he is good, if he is great, this offensive line is going to be better, much better than a lot of people are expecting. What's Evan Neal's role with this football team? The injuries derailed him last year, as well as, let's be honest, the poor play. He was bad in year 1, had injuries. He was bad in year 2, he had injuries. Didn't do any of the offseason workouts, no OTAs, no mini camp. He was late to training camp. He played in the final preseason game against the New York Jets, allowed a sack, but he also looked pretty good in other spots of it. Will he now be really working as the swing tackle for this team? If there's an injury on the interior offensive line, can we see him maybe move into inside? I'm not sure, but it's really unfortunate that Evan Neal, number 7 overall in the 2022 NFL Draft, has not been able to live up to the hype. My question to you is this. Will the Giants' offensive line allow 85 sacks this year? That's the number of sacks they gave up last year. That's second most in NFL history. Will they be better at all? Or, God, if they are worse, I'm not sure I'm going to make it. O for over, U for under. Let me know. 85 sacks this year allowed for this offensive line. Let's switch to the defensive side of the ball. The side of the ball that I have a lot of hopes for and a lot of excitement for, starting with Brian Burns, the $150 million pass rusher. Giants trade a second-round pick for him from the Carolina Panthers. And when you pair him on the opposite side with Kayvon Thibodeaux, you should see those guys consistently pinning their ears back and getting after the quarterbacks. If you're a tackle playing against the Giants, you know you are going to have a long day and hopefully a tough day, because Burns and Thibodeaux are at the top of the list, in my opinion, when it comes to strictly talent at that edge rusher spot. But I don't care about that. I want to see production. I want to see these two fellas combined for at least 20 sacks this year. Then you got the man in the middle, Sexy Dexy, my man number 97. He's got to go to work this year. I don't want to say he had a down year last year, but it wasn't 2022. 2022, he was the best defensive player in football. I don't care what anybody says. Go look at the numbers. 2023, he was really good as well. Easily the best nose tackle. But with pressure being taken off you because of year 3 Kayvon, pressure being taken off you because of Brian Burns, I want to see Dexter Lawrence getting back to putting up the production that the best player in football does, because he could be that guy. I didn't know who I wanted to put at this defensive tackle 2 spot, but I'm going to roll with our man Nacho entering year 2 with the New York Giants. Raheem Nunez-Roches, I think on early downs and passing downs, we're going to see these guys in the game. If the Giants want to go with 3 down defensive linemen and 2 edges, meaning a 5-man front, I think you could either see DJ Davidson, Jordan Riley in there, but maybe even the rookie guy goes from a tryout at rookie minicamp to making this football team, Elijah Chapman. I think on passing downs, if the Giants want to operate with just 2 defensive linemen, it could be Dexter Lawrence and Elijah Chapman with Burns and Thibodeaux on the edge, just sending 4. I'm excited to see what the rookie does. Yes, he's undersized, but he's definitely not undersized right here. He's got all the heart in the world. He's an extremely hard worker. He plays with passion and one of the stronger players in the NFL. Maybe a little bit of a slow start for Chapman to find his role and how he can affect a football game, but I think he's going to make some plays for this team that are going to make a lot of fans proud. At the linebacker spot, the off-ball linebacker spot, Bobby Okereke, captain of the defense. He'll be holding down the middle of the team wearing the green dot on his helmet yet again. One of the most underrated players in football last year. I want to see him be even better this year and get off to a little bit of a faster start. If you remember, Okereke started a little bit slow last year. Then once he got comfortable, he was one of the best in the business. I want to see him be great this year, all 17 games. Micah McFadden. There's been a lot of talk of, will McFadden lose that starting inside linebacker job too? Deontay Johnson, Darius Musa, who's going to take his spot? I'm expecting McFadden to be there. Love the way he processes the game. I think he's got great football instincts, underrated athlete. Just has to shore up the tackling. Last year had the highest missed tackle percentage in all of football last year. Had over 100 tackles. So if he improves that, he'll once again have triple digits in that tackle spot. If the Giants want to go to a sub-package linebacker, whether they want to run dime, or they want to run nickel, or they want to run a three-safety set that Shane Bowen loves to do 24% of the time as the defensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, he ran that dime package, 6 DBs on the field. You're going to see Isaiah Simmons out there. So look for 19 to come off the edge, maybe play a little slot corner, and play that money backer spot inside the box on passing downs. We've got more to talk about on today's video, but first I got to give a major shout out to my favorite ticketing app in the game. I was actually just looking at Game Time to go get some last minute tickets to Yankees Rangers today, and you could do the same. Download the Game Time app and get hooked up today. Use that promo code ChatSports and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. If you're looking for last minute tickets, if you're looking for the best price guaranteed, do it with Game Time. And make sure you're using that all-in pricing feature. It's my favorite way to look for tickets. That way, when you see that 5 tickets are worth $200, you pay $200. You don't want to get hit with a bunch of hidden fees once you get to check out. Game Time, they do not do that because they value their customers. Best seats, lowest prices guaranteed. Actually, prices drop as the events get closer. So if you're a procrastinator like I am, Game Time will take care of you. Giants games, concerts, tickets, theater events, basketball games, baseball games, and so much more. What time is it? Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Use that promo code ChatSports. That's CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Shout out to Game Time. Be a real one. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Download the app. Create an account. Promo code ChatSports. $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. All that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. At the cornerback position, which has been talked about a bunch on this channel, my biggest worry with this football team right now, I think the starting cornerback one is going to be Deonte Banks. No surprises there. Entering year 2 after being a first-round pick, he needs to take a major step. Not because he wasn't great as a rookie, but because of what is on his plate. The Giants are going to ask him to be that corner that locks down the top receivers in this league. He's going to be guarding Justin Jefferson. Week 1, he'll be guarding Terry McLaurin. Week 2, then he'll be lined up with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Then CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. Every week you play a top receiver. Play draft a corner in the first round. Banks now wearing number 3. New swag. Hopefully it's some new production this year. I'm going to go with Nick McCloud as the early starting corner for the New York Giants. I know they just signed Adoree Jackson in NFL free agency. I just don't really think I can comprehend or believe that a week after being signed, which was 10 days before he is supposed to play, how is Adoree Jackson going to be the starter at that CB2 spot? He's working out at practice, going to see where he is, but no matter how good a shape you keep yourself in, no matter how hard you're training, you're not on the football team and you're not practicing, it's really hard to work yourself into game shape, especially football shape. The way you do that is by playing football. I think Jackson still has some gas left in the tank, just 28 years old. But I'm going to give the nod to Nick McCloud as the initial starting corner. Maybe by week 2, week 3, we see Adoree Jackson and Deonte Banks on the football field. Jackson not wearing number 22 this year. He's wearing number 21 because 22 is going to the rookie slot corner, Andrew Phillips, the rookie out of Kentucky. They gave him number 22 immediately upon being drafted. And Adoree Jackson, I didn't want to take number 22 from him because we've already seen him make some plays. But I'll go with Andrew Phillips as the starting slot corner. Maybe you see Cordell Flott at CB2 and McCloud into the slot. I just think McCloud has earned it more this offseason than Flott. And Flott still has a lot to do to be a legit player in this league. Still worried about the corners, but the addition of Adoree Jackson, it helps me sleep better at night. On the back end of the defense, one of my favorite players on this team, Jason Pinnock. I'm expecting a big year from him. I think he fits a little bit better in this Shane Bowen defense because he can wear multiple hats. He could be that single high guy. He could split the field and play halves. He could play quarters. He can go down in the slot, walk down. He could play inside the box. And the rookie Tyler Nubin, extremely high hopes for him. This dude was a dog at Minnesota. He could, like Pinnock, which is I love about this Giants safety room, is they could do a little bit of everything. Nubin, he could tackle. He was a corner at one point. He can get sticky in man coverage in the slot on tight ends. Bigger guy, not afraid of contact. Get ready to see a lot of these two, 27 and 31, making plays. But you're also going to see Dane Belton out there a lot. Shane Bowen likes to play with a lot of DBs on the field at one time. You're going to see some three safety sets for the New York Giants. So get ready to see Pinnock, get ready to see Belton, get ready to see Nubin moving all over the football field, making plays everywhere. Dane Belton's one of those guys that right place, right time. Whether you want to call that lucky, whether you want to call that being prepared, or just being a guy that's always around the football. I think that's a skill set. And 32 games played, the guy has 4 interceptions, 5 PBUs, and 3 fumble recoveries. That's 7 turnovers in 32 games. He's always around the football. Needs to be on the field. Going to make some plays. This Giants team is going to be special. They need to create turnovers on defense, and Dane Belton has proved his 2 years since coming out of Iowa. He could be that guy. On the special teams, let's ride. Graham Gano, kicker, Jamie Gillen, punter, long snapper, the captain, Casey Kreider. And I am projecting that Gunnar Olszewski is going to play this week despite being injured and wearing a red practice jersey on Tuesday's practice. He's going to be a kick returner and your punt returner. We've gone through every position. We've talked through them all. We know who the starters are going to be. So now it's your turn to grade the Giants roster. 1 to 100. You know how it works. Let me know. Be honest. Don't be a homer, but be a little bit of a homer. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue. 5 more sleeps.